Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the new city of Haralt Dashain, named in honor of the god Wodenaz, who was brought from the old world. And while it sits on blighted terrain, the industrious settlers have already, as you can see, constructed large farming complexes and are making the most they can out of the blighted land. There is perhaps some things that we can do to help them, and I will go into that later. But right now, I am Marcus Aurelius, and this is Age of Wonders 3, a roleplay campaign where you, the viewer, gets to make all the decisions. And this is my second attempt at recording this because the first time there was apparently a fire or something and a bunch of ambulances and fire trucks drove by and it's kind of ruined the aesthetic. Also, I want to say that because Easter is coming up next weekend, this is going to be a 4-part series before a council episode. That is to say, I'm going to be recording 4 episodes in a row, so please understand if you provide advice or a comment at this episode that it will not be addressed or otherwise acted upon for another 4 episodes, because by the time you've made that comment, all of the future episodes have already been recorded. So in 4 episodes, we will have another council episode. And while we're on that, let's talk about what the council decided in the previous episode. First of all, in terms of research, it was a lot of great ideas, but the winner with 7 votes was hero slaying. The next one with 6 votes was the draft. And after that was Phoenix Warrior with 3 votes. So I think we're going to have time, the 4 episodes that take place, to do all of those. So the council is going to get their will in that. Next, with regards of accepting Droos, who is currently our vassal, but accepting them into our empire as a full-fledged city, I was very surprised to see that the vote was quite close. It actually ended up being 14 to 10 in favor of accepting them. Generally, the arguments against accepting them were that they were too far away from our lands and therefore would be difficult to defend. But Ermenon, who is our envoy to Droos and stands to become their mayor, so I guess he's not entirely neutral in this. There might be some bias there, or she, I should say. However, the notion is that they can defend themselves. They have a roving army here and a garrison here. So even though they're being beset by giant spiders and who knows what else in the future, we can produce more giants and we can defend them that way. But also, if we are to be going to war with Leonis at some point, Ermenon has let us know that their stone giants have an ability which allows them to do extra damage against mechanical troops, which Leonis will be fielding a lot of. So that seems like a good benefit to the armies of Aurelia as good auxiliary troops to round out our strengths. With regards to Leonis, the council was swayed by Lord Frigoberto's notion that conquering the lands of Leonis would be, although difficult, a benefit to us because they are human like we are, and so would suffer no morale penalties or whatnot for us having to migrate anything. We could just simply walk in and take over government. Now, many members of the council were a bit nervous and just thought that while we should eventually plan for war with Leonis, we shouldn't be too aggressive because we are at a disadvantage right now. And I could see how they would get that idea. He has 4 cities. He is, of course, of Dreadnought, so his production is incredibly good. And our troops, as of right now, are not particularly well suited to take out his mechanical troops. We're going to work in that direction. Some of our troops have better bonuses than others. Our Manticore Riders at some point, especially if they are produced in Leticia, where cavalry gets a bonus, would be fantastic against him. And the Stone Giants, as I mentioned, are also good. So we have some options, and we have some heroes as well that have bonuses that could aid us. And frankly, we can just throw a lot of men at them. That's what the Warlord is all about, is producing large armies and overwhelming the enemy. So with a vote of 17 to 4, it was decided that we should prepare for war against Leonis. And some of our lords were quite aggressive, like Lord Dragonstrike, who suggested that we immediately swoop down and seize Allerton right now. However, we are currently not only just at peace with Leonis, but we have an open borders treaty. So doing something like that would be seen as very nefarious and would probably hurt our relationships with all of the nations of the world. So what we're going to do instead, as was suggested by Lord Chris Richmond, is to close our open borders treaty. And we're going to do that. So negotiate, close borders, and we'll close borders. Okay. That will do a couple things. First, it will make him a little bit angry with us, which might inspire him to attack us, which you'd think is not necessarily a good thing, but it will allow us to then claim to not be the aggressors. It will make us seem like the aggrieved party, and that should help us. And second, it will not allow him to move his troops or units into advantageous strategic positions or perhaps found a city somewhere we would not want him to. So as long as we keep our border secure, we can manage the conflict, as it were. Now, there were some great suggestions by members of the council that we are going to take advantage of. One was to build fortresses in the Icelands and to the north, where we eventually would like to build cities. Now, obviously, the focus has to be near areas of strategic value, but also near areas that provide bonuses that will be useful to us. Like, for example, the city of the Wraith King, obviously, if we should be able to take it, would provide huge bonuses to us. But a lot of these buildings, once we get scouts there, I can't look at them right now, unfortunately, but a lot of these buildings provide pretty good bonuses. One key item that we are going to want very soon is this right here. I believe it's this, the Heart of the Blight. And the reason why is if we set a city here, it will allow our people to work very well on Blight, and that includes Haraltasane. So the morale from that city will go up immeasurably. So this is probably a do or die for us. This is something that we really need to focus on. So that's the plan. The plan is to accept Droos, to kind of move our influence up north here so we can encompass it in our borders, continue to found new cities, clear out all of the monster dens with our mighty armies, research more effective means of fighting with Leonis, and then as soon as we are ready, go to war with him. So that's the plan. In doing so, it has been suggested that we try to cozy up a bit more to our Frostling rogue friend, Zoki of Clan Brago. He is very weak, and I've lost him. Where is he? Oh, is that him? Wow, his city is really compact here. It's right next to a Wraith city or something like that, too. That's spooky. But anyways, he hasn't had a chance to really expand out. So he's not a threat to us, and we could obviously keep him on our good side. I don't think it would necessarily hurt us too much if he wasn't, but that's that. Okay, so Leonis has closed his borders to us. That's fine. He is currently indifferent to us. We still don't know who the last lord is, and we'll probably find that out pretty soon. I believe it's halflings, but someone has suggested it might be elves. We can finally start producing lost mariners. Are there any other buildings we could use here? Do not suffer from the embark penalties. That's not that important. This will give us sirens. Now, I'm not sure about sirens because they are the natural upgrade of the mermaid, but unlike the mermaid, they do not have the seduce ability. I guess I can't see them. Does this provide troops? No, it does. Okay. So let's take a look at them. A siren. Okay. So they have the siren's wail, which is a great attack, and they have dominate, which will take control of a target enemy unit for 3 turns only, though, whereas the mermaids can take control of them forever. They are mind control immune, though. They do have water concealment and blight protection. But again, they don't seem to be pound for pound as good in terms of what we want to use them for as the mermaids, who are able to seduce perhaps enemy leaders and troops to our cause, if only the enemies would sail on the sea. So they might be very useful against an enemy that might be attacking us through naval means. So I'm not really sure if I want this. I think it might make more sense to start building some Lost Mariners. They're the cheapest thing we can produce. The Kraken and the Mermaid, I believe, are amphibious. Or not amphibious, but only can be in the sea, whereas the Lost Mariner can be on land as well. Not sure, though. Kraken... I can't quite tell if it can go on land or not. I mean, there's nothing, I guess, stopping it from doing so. It can use its tentacles to go up, but I'm not entirely sure. Let's see the Lost Mariner. Yeah, they have walking. So I guess if they don't have walking, they can't go on. So as you can see, the mermaids have seduce, which will take control forever. So I don't understand how the sirens are a benefit to that. Although they have blight weakness, whereas the sirens have blight protection. But they have spirit protection, which the sirens do not. Interesting. Anyway, we will save the money for right now and continue producing merchandise until we're ready to go, because we need to accept Droos into our empire. And here's our scout. We get to find out who this... Oh, wait, we already know who this person is. And I don't think we're allowed to go onto their land either. So, that's a problem. As many in the council have noted, there appears to be a holy war going on here between the two theocrats. Alright, this scout will, I guess, move up. Okay, what is this now? This is the Shrine to the Scarlet Destroyer. It only adds 10 knowledge when located within our domain, though, so that's not entirely great. But it does give visiting units 60% fire protection and fire spit and explosive death. Well, that sounds pretty good. Flowers of Solace. It does improve happiness. So if we built a city here, we could have the knowledge and tons of happiness, which actually might be a really smart thing to do. Then we have the Sphinx Temple, which would allow us to build a sandstone citadel, which would allow us to create sandstone sphinxes, which have Demolisher, which makes them good against machines. That would help us immensely. So if we could build a city like here, we can get the morale bonus, the knowledge, and the sandstone sphinxes. Oh, but it's... Or we could build a city down here, get the Heart of the Blight, and the... Yeah, we'd have to pick. I mean, if we put a city right here, eventually it would encompass all this, but not in time for it to be very useful for us. So we'd have to do 2 cities, which we could do, because there's a lost city up here. That would be beneficial. Not sure. A lot can happen here. It looks like there's 2 Hearts of the Blight. Or maybe this is Heart of the Blight, and this is something... This looks much more substantial. So maybe this is the Heart of the Blight, and this is something else I haven't figured out yet. Alright, Preston and Frigoberto are heading toward this enemy location here. We'll continue along that way. Wizard Tower Ruins. If we build a city around this thing, we'll get Library of the Arcane Arts. Plus 30 knowledge. That seems like a good value. All archer units produced in this city have enchanted arrows. They grant 2 shock damage. Okay, that's pretty cool. I love how the world has objects like this, which allow units produced in those particular cities to have special bonuses. I think that really adds a lot of cool variety to the world. Oh, we could definitely take this. I believe this army could take any strong area, but not... Like, they could probably take the Ancient Ruins, but it can't take anything epic at this point. We are moving pretty slow, though. I don't know, maybe the ice slows us down. Because she has a griffin. So you think she'd be... Well, she's great. It's just our human troops that are having trouble keeping up. And the road here is complete. So our builder really should start going and looking for areas to build fortresses, which we were going to do. So Randy's going to head back home. Wait a minute, what? Okay, I thought it was going to make her go on land. And I was like, what is happening here? And we have a scout who's just looking at the dwarf lands. So 2 cities here. And Satura the Dark's red raptor egg is hatched, so she now has a raptor mount, and Aurelia has grown into a metropolis. Leticia has grown into a town. Heralt des Hain is still a outpost. Alright. Droos is now part of our empire officially. And did their troops just all disappear? That was not what I was expecting at all. So now we have this unit of spiders and no troops. Okay, great. Great, and no money. Eventually we're going to want the... I guess we need the Burrow of Degenerate Children. And then we can build the Rock of Ages or the Stone Ward or something that will let us build what we need to build. Well, the spiders seem to have left, so we're okay here for the moment, but we can't produce any troops, which I wasn't expecting either. And we can't afford to produce anything either, so we're going to go with merchandise for right now. Just for one turn. Was not expecting that. Geldorf. Alright, Geldorf. This will raise the city's income by 30%, which in this case will be about a little under 60 gold. That might be worth doing. Cavaliers are worth doing, but I don't know if necessarily they're worth doing at Geldorf. I should save them for Leticia or someplace with them cavalry bonus. Siege Workshop would be pretty smart, because it would allow us to produce units quickly. We have bonus archers. We do have swords masters. So we know what we should probably do is focus on an arena, which will allow us to recruit experienced swords masters. And we can't afford it. Alright, cool. Let's take out some penguins. And look who's here. We have Freda of Godwinton, Emeritus the Papa, and Tamra Isan Holana. So Leonis is definitely taking all the human heroes from us. I wonder what's going to happen if we get another hero. If it'll still be human, or if we'll have to start branching out into other races. But they're not here for fun. So we got to keep an eye on things here. But for right now, penguin killing time. Wow, this appears rather uncomfortable for our army. It doesn't look like a place you really want to be. Wow, they just harpooned us. Alright, we should know our enemy. So these dire penguins, as they are called, can steal life. They also are well suited to this type of terrain. They are dedicated to evil. And they have frost protection. Okay. I mean, aside from the life stealing, that's not too great. We have frostlings here. What can they do? Well, the throwing the ice ball is not going to help. So really, the frostlings are kind of useless in this battle. Let's get our archers up. Our mariners. They're undead. The cold shouldn't bother them. Long swordsmen. Well, we'll just keep them in a defensive position here. Okay. Let's give them a quick little... Nice. What are these guys? They're dwarven martyrs. So they can absorb pain from another friendly unit. And they can also throw stones. Not too worried about it. Ignatious, let's pull up behind them. Give him the chicken. Nice! Okay, perfect. Get the griffin next to him. And we'll move up the archers. Alright, looks good. Okay, that wasn't good. Our mariners are down. Alright, Anya's looking like crap too. Shoot. Alright, we don't have time here. Oh, they're outside of our range. Alright, we might have to get Frigoberto involved in this one. Just to get these guys done as soon as possible. I think it'll do that every turn. I don't want to lose Anya again. I don't know if Stone Skin would even actually help that. We could try it. But we need to end these guys, and we need to end them now. Swords Masters. Okay, perfect. Monster Hunters. These are monsters. Yep. They're animals. At least they have Animal Slayer. Archers. Perfect. Alright, so all we have left of these guys. Ignatious. Charge them up. Monster Hunters. Looks like melee's the way to go here. Do a little bit more damage. Excellent. So it did not come without loss. We did lose, unfortunately, our lost mariners due to the crazy attack there, but we were able to be successful. And we did give Ignatious a lot of cool stuff. So let's see what we got here. Friendly units at target location within a 1 hex radius gain inflict shocking. That's really cool. Oh, this is cool too. So even more spells. All heroes in the units. Well, he doesn't have an army of his own yet. Actually, he does. What am I saying? Gain +1 resistance. Strong will is probably a good idea too. We don't want any of our people getting converted. Although I don't think dreadnoughts can do that. But it's something to think of. I honestly am worried about his hit points. So we're going to give him some more of those. Let's just give him a lot more of those for right now. Alright, cool. So what's the plan here? We have a gold mine, a crystal tree, which will unlock an enchanted armory. Produced armored units get extra defense and resistance. That's pretty good in general. It could be an infantry center. We have this, which will give us extra production. So this would be a good place in general for a city too, and it's fertile. And it'll help solidify our northern border a bit. Alright, let's do that. Let's move our troops up here to clear out this area. What is this? A shrine to the Frozen Beauty. Bestows visiting units with Arctic concealment and Arctic walking for 8 turns. We receive that. Adds +10 knowledge when located within your domain. Well, if we place our city in the correct area, we might be able to include that, although we probably won't. Yeah, most likely not. Still, though, cool thing to have. Oh, let's put them together. Excellent. You're going to sit tight. Alright, Preston. They're exploring the underground, kind of taking a look at what's around here. We have a water node. We have a great farm. Wow, that'd be a good place to locate people. Because we'll have, yeah, we have a, looks like a production bonus here. Some magic nodes. Some berries, which will improve production. So a city right here would actually be a great place to locate a city. And we're not too close to the dwarf. So that's an idea too. I should be marking this down. Like right here west of the bridge. This is a good place. Obviously here. Well, there's not many buildings here though. There's just this little temple thing. Here is a great place to build a city. So like here, here, and here so far seem like the real choices. This would be a good strategic location, but it wouldn't provide many benefits. Although up here this might. Alright, can we go any further? No. Alright, our scout. What's your plan? I guess just to look what's going on. To scout. Let's go, this will head toward the berries. An elephant! Army leader. I'm sure his leadership skills are quite good. Alright, this is our scout who's eventually going to try to find out that last person. Okay, what do we have here? A haunted boneyard. The undead arise from this. Okay, so we have to take this out. How far are we? We're pretty far from it. So it's not a huge threat to us just now, but eventually we're going to want to have to take it out. And they might kill our scout. Too bad they can't get on the water. Yeah, I can see them coming after our scout. So Randy's going to head home. We do have another scout here, though. who, if we can get around the dwarf, can maybe find another exit out of this place. Leticia's grown into a town. It's almost done with its bathhouse. Wish we... Oh, we're starting to lose some money. Why? We were making like 400, now we're only making 300. Maybe that's Droos? And Heraltasane has produced its Builder's Hall, and next we're going to a storehouse. All right, ladies and gentlemen, well, that is the end of this episode. Next episode, we will continue our advance. We will continue preparing for war against Leonis, and we will do our best to secure and start producing good troops in Droos. And we'll, of course, try to find out who our final adversary is. Once again, I am Marcus Aurelius. I'd like to thank you very much for watching. Have a good one.